It's race day. Welcome, race fans, to a showcase of driving perfection. My name's Webbo, and let's get down trackside. Hold on tight, we're gonna go for it. Boom, that's how it's done. Whoa, easy. Surely not all the way around the outside. Oh yeah, we're cooking now. Shake and bake, baby, shake and bake. This is a roller coaster of emotions. The drivers are pushing their machines to the limit and beyond. Whoa, it doesn't get any better than that. We wait for the lights, the revs build and so does the excitement. And it's drop the clutch and go, go, go! Okay, driver, it's hammer time. This driver is an artist and the racetrack is their canvas. Did you see that? Did you see that? Wow! Let's watch it again. Ooh, hopefully they'll get away with that one. What a great start, and it looks like we can build on this now and really make a good race of it. There's the fastest lap, folks. No mercy on the menu today. Yeah, sideways is rarely ever faster, but you do get style points. And we roll the safety car dice. Leave them alone. They know what they're doing. Oh no, someone's gone bowling into turn one. What a shocker. Moving left, jinking right, keep them guessing. Lawn mowing as a side gig. And we go down the inside, Danny Rick style. We're on the edge of our seats here, folks. The racers are pushing their limits, risking it all for that coveted first place position and the all-important win. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. The two cars ahead are fighting with each other. It's slowing them down. Welcome back, race fans, to Deviant Racing for the third round of our Season 4.2 Championship. This is how things are looking for the Drivers and Combined Constructors Championship as we head into qualifying here in Tokyo for today's race. We have Don't Need Time on the left of screen, of course, because this is the Pro Series. We have Don't Need Time on 21 points ahead of Nismo on 20. With Larry and Glovas joint third position on 15 points. That's with a drop score, of course, so far. Joint fifth place is Floody and Zen, with Mercury and Camzilla on in joint seventh place. Mercury and Komakopa in joint seventh place. Camzilla in ninth, Chaotica in 10th, and Zanshin in 11th, with Junkai, Arcane, and Preston knocking on the door of potential relegation post-season. I haven't said hello. My name's Webbo, by the way, and hello to anybody tuning in and watching with us live. Do be part of today's broadcast in as much as you possibly can, and that's the key part of being here live with us. We've got Team Wunderfahrt Racing on 41 points combined. That's with those drop scores. And Team Sony Interactive in second. 404 Motorsport are in third place with Team Builder in fourth. Team NASCAR are in fifth place, just ahead of Predators. And Team Pollo Loco bring up the rear at the moment in the championship. Well, we are about ready for some qualifying to be underway. We've got Twilight session going on at the moment. 10 minutes dead. No added time for qualifying today and for the rest of the season as well. So we've obviously got to get the job done very quickly here in our fantastic racing. Don't need time. We've got Camzilla on screen at the moment, but at the front of the field is currently, well, I would say is currently Zen. He's directly behind Glovas on the racetrack at the moment. Glovas looks to be the guy out of the pits first of all. So hello everybody who is watching with us live. Do shout up and say who you're here to support in particular as we join Glovas then with a clear view of the racetrack. He finishes out his flying lap 158.207 with 2 minutes and 44 gone. I think that was actually an out lap, question mark, but no, I suppose not. So we're down into heading down the long run down to turn 2. We should see lots of slipstreaming going on here underneath the overpass, of course, before heading down towards 2 90-degree right-hand corners. Kind of expect people to be rammed in this section, and then through the kind of dockyards container ship section of Tokyo, kind of doing a full square around turns 2, 3, 4, and then back on ourselves through turn 5. We are tracing the line that we were just on, but just an alternate lane before going through turn 6. Expect lots of wall rubbing and barrier penalties today as well. This is a flat out snake of turns 7 and 8 as we're in deep into sector 2 already, and then we are about to have a terrifically long braking zone and slow stop down. Again, turn 9 and 10, the left and right, we just went through a completely flat out before we look for a complete hairpin then. Very wide entry. I wonder if the other drivers are going to be taking different lines through the exit of that corner. It looks like Le Pingle in Montreal. We're not in the home of the Canadian Grand Prix today. This is turn 12 now before heading for an S's section of turns 13 right, 14 left, 15 right with some great camber on the corner, and then the final corner, turn 16. Get this one right because there's another long straight coming up as we head underneath the Tokyo Expressway marker there. Flat out, there's your penalty marker board as well, and heading through a 58.6 then from Glovas. Don't need time, has gone faster than him. We've got on board with Comacopa in a new livery for the Predators team today. We'll have a look at those soon enough. As Curious Guy says, gotta love how far the line is from the pit. Yeah, absolutely. As we head down underneath the low point of the track now. Don't need time leads from Glovas, Chaotica and this car, Comacopa, as he's heading in towards the turn 2 now. Hasn't yet made it into sector 2 at this time. Comacopa racing in VR, as I believe is Don't Need Time is not. We had that conversation last time out, didn't we? But yes, he is not doing that today, or I don't think ever. Comacopa with limited rear visibility, thanks to running, of course, in the VR. Enjoying the Ferrari, I think, a little bit more perhaps than his car he has to drive later on today in a different league, which is the Supra. Seems to be particularly underpowered. Oh, Alexandra, appreciate you becoming a member. That's fantastic. Very grateful to you. And there is the pit entry for Comacopa, miles, as Arcane was saying, miles away from the line. Appreciate anyone who has a look at the merch store, the QR code I put through at the start of the broadcast. But yeah, championships are extremely welcome. So thank you to Alexandra. Happy Father's Day to anybody who celebrates today. And hopefully the whole Larry clan are here to enjoy the racing. I'm on board at the moment in the Lamborghini with S. Berman, or Zanshin, as many know him. Big happy Father's Day from Alexandra there, of course. So snaking through, just probably heading towards, well, I was going to say an in-lap, but perhaps not, given that he's put a personal best sector 1 in as S. Berman. He's currently 1.4 seconds away from the absolute best. You will see extended gaps today, I think, because drivers will get it wrong, and this is a long circuit, and if you get it wrong at the start of one of these long straightaways, you are in for a world of pain throughout the rest of your lap. That's the hairpin, Le Pingo, as we head out the extreme northeast of the circuit, running around and then back onto the power again for finding our straightest line through this snake. Another personal best sector from S. Berman. It's not the best of the session, but I think it will be sufficient to lift him above that 6th position if he can just hold it together. Ignore all the painted lines on the surface of the racetrack here. Hopefully we are going to be weather free, because this track with moisture on it is a dangerous one. 0.7 of a second improvement for S. Berman takes him all the way up to don't need time, but he is still 0.7 of a second away from don't need time's best time here. Looks like he's using the God of War Sony Interactive Studios livery here around the dockyard area on the extreme southeast side of the circuit, heading out of turn 5 and then the sweeping right of turn 6. A very slight camber, but not so much that you can really rely on it. They'll be hoping to try and pick up a slipstream there from the car in front as well. Behind, no real trouble for don't need time. The drivers will get lots of headlight flashing going on in their mirrors. Oh, straight back to the pits we go with don't need time. I think this is too short a time to come through and start and then complete another lap, because it's about a minute away from the actual pit exit, and then we are stopping dead on 10-minute mark, I believe. So at the moment it's don't need time from S. Berman, from Zen and John Kai, with Glovas, Chaotica, Komakopa and Camzilla, your top 8 through the course of this one as S. Berman comes back in. Let's try and wait for a sector update, which is coming down the next short straightaway. Wait for it to arrive as we come through now. No visible line on the racetrack, but S. Berman has gained nearly half a second, so he is knocking on the door of don't need time's pole position here. To the right, to the left, one after the other. These amazing sequence of corners, so much better than racing the nugget of the central Tokyo circuit. And across the line then, and he lost time in that final sector. Did S. Berman, so stays in that second position. Let's have a look at Glovas as we've got 5 seconds to go on the stopwatch. There is the 10-minute mark. Looks like we're going to run slightly over in the GTDPRO. Give them a little bit of latitude, because it's not the end of the world if they run a minute or 2 behind. But I'm kind of expecting that the clock will run out on these drivers that are currently on hot laps right now. We've got a whole bunch of drivers closing out the lap, the first of which is Komakopa, clearly on his final lap. He'll be disappointed, I think, to start 7th, and there is the end of qualifying. As I was mentioning, we were going to cut off very quickly. Don't need time with the pole position of 157.135. And he manages to gain that pole position by 6.5 of a second from S. Berman and Zen, who are very close together on pace, as is Glovas as well. Little gap, an extra 10th back to John Kai and Chaotica, with Komakopa in 7th, Preston in 8th. We have Camzilla in 9th. Larry, probably disappointed as well to come home from qualifying in 10th place. Arcane is in 11th, with Mercury in 12th in the Sears livery today. And Sully here for our safety car driving duties, as he has been. Great to see him. This is the qualifying result then on screen. Just need to make sure I get everything correctly here. So congratulations to Nismo, I must say, for the birth of, I think, a baby daughter. Congratulations to him. I'm not sure we will see him as a result of that happy event, but we will. I see Arcane is celebrating that for his teammate. We have 60 minutes of Tokyo counterclockwise configuration. As I mentioned, I did an unhealthy amount of time both racing, practicing, and indeed qualifying, commentating as well on the on the Nugget Central circuit here. Okay, I had a little bit of heart failure there. It said can't hear you to on the chat. I thought that was for me, but safety car lap 19. Thank you very much, Kuros Kai. Appreciate that no end. That's brilliant to get that information. Lap 19 then for the safety car here. We do have a race this season that will not have a safety car, so that's going to be interesting. Let's just have a quick look. No safety car will be at Dragon Trail Gardens, and so following this race we'll be going to Trial Mountain for the reverse configuration. Deep Forest as well. I rarely ever see drivers try the Trial Mountain reverse. That is going to be an interesting one. Deep Forest reverse, Dragon Trail in Croatia, July 27th. July 13th, we won't be doing live broadcast. That will be a replay broadcast for that one later in the week. Brands Hatch to finish the season out for August 10th. So fantastic calendar awaits our great Deviant Racing League as we wait for a brief pause before all the action will begin. Let me know your predictions here for the race. Who will Don't Need Time, Berman and Zen hold on to the podium? Can they survive the first period in order to be there or thereabouts for the second period of the race? Of course, very much a case of the before and after safety car situation here at the Deviant Racing League, with the exception, of course, of that one race that will be trialling a no safety car race later in the season. We're really looking forward to this one, and of course, coming up on the channel immediately after this one will be the GTD drivers and their GT World Challenge Round 3 at the same track, and then after that live there will be the GT3 races for the G1 division of SVR. That you will be able to see, and they are going to be at Catalonia for the Barcelona round of the championship. Well, we have a countdown coming. We are ready to go, so get your predictions in very quickly, but we are ready to go racing then for this tremendous season 4.2. Let me just make sure I've got everything as everybody wants it here at the league. Let's get ourselves some good positioning for everything, as Don't Need Time and S. Berman are on the front row of the grid. The first turn will be to the left, so the starter has an advantage on the inside line, and it's dropped the clutch and go, and a nice move away. That is Junkai moving forward a row, I believe, already, and seemingly up into fourth position as they run through into that left-hand corner. Junkai on the inside, four in the Honda for Polio Loco. But at the front of the grid, it is Don't Need Time versus Glovas. Side by side, they were momentarily, but it hasn't lasted as Don't Need Time gives up a big slipstream disadvantage as they run for the long run down into the all-important turn 2. Glovas has pulled alongside, he's got the inside line, but the Mercedes can't quite get there. S. Berman going very long on those cold tyres at this stage, and Komakopa sneaking through into third position for the Predators team. A great start for Komakopa on the hard tyres, no less. And Don't Need Time, Glovas and Komakopa are your lead three. But Komakopa is not satisfied getting up from 7th to 3rd position. He's going to go for 2nd at this early stage as that low slung Ferrari usually jumps off the line like a rocket. But S. Berman is right there in the wedge-shaped Lamborghini Huracan as well. And Komakopa going full Kung Fu Panda, it seems now, for the Predator livery as we run down through the sort of open S's of turns 9 and 10, and it's going to be anybody's game as they head down into the hairpin for the first time. Looks like Glovas is going for it. Komakopa boxed out slightly and having to run round the wide line. S. Berman goes through into third position, and it is absolutely all over the shop as to who is going to be struggling and who's going to be succeeding for this particular position of the race. S. Berman is challenging for second place over Glovas as the drivers come through this tricky S section to finish out the first lap of the race. That looked like Preston might have hit the wall in the Polioloco NSX. Junkai behind him in a similar situation, and then Chaotic almost certainly did tag the wall as they finish out lap 1. It has been absolutely crazy. The safety car has already gone into the pits, but let's have a quick look, shall we? Oh no, it's Glovas challenging into turn 1, the left-hander here. Berman hits the wall. He needs to be so careful because damage is very, very likely here in Tokyo. Let's have a quick replay of the start then for our drivers. This is how things looked at the back. It looks like Larry very slow away, and then it's a little bit of bumper cars with the Sears Mercedes just tagging the back of the Arcane camo backed Adidas sponsored livery. But then just that multiple slipstream as they run through, looking fantastic. And this was the battle with Camzilla as well. Very, very hairy at the front there of the grid, and towards the back as well. Back up to the front as Don't Need Time is holding on at the moment. He's on the hard tyres, so is Glovas, and I believe we had Komakopa on the hards as well. But it's Glovas going fastest so far on this lap 2. Komakopa chasing down. This car seems to change colour either under the tunnel or out in the lights. Nobody's gone for a specifically night livery, it seems, here in Tokyo, but there's some great new stickers and decals out there on the racetrack. Preston looking good in the KFC car. Again, on the hard tyres, it's just Berman who is a bit stuck here on the mediums and kind of in the mire of everyone else's pace. Looks like he's just got ahead. He has before they get to the S's, and that's really important timing then for Berman to get up to second place. He can presumably take this medium tyre shod car further forward perhaps than Glovas can and challenge Don't Need Time as they run through. Isaac's saying Polioloco's livery is reminding me you should have had breakfast. Yeah, that's a Cars movie reference, I think, there as well. So good stuff. And Sunshine is cheering on Preston as well, which is great to see. Preston up into P5 in the Polioloco KFC livery. Just don't eat KFC for breakfast, Isaac. At least get some nutrition in first thing in the morning. Komakopa in P4, Preston in P5, but Don't Need Time and S. Berman at the head of this field. There is Preston and Komakopa side by side. Preston actually bringing that NSX very nicely forward. Komakopa down into the all-important square of turn 2, 3, 4, and then the left of 5. But I don't think, well, Komakopa is able to go around the outside and then just sneak it through as he heads into turn 5. Komakopa back in front of this group, but they're all slowing each other down here in the pursuit of the podium. Look at the train of drivers as we go from 4th, Komakopa, Preston, Junkai, Camzilla, Zen, down lowly in 8th place with Arcane in 9th, Chaotica in 10th, Larry in 11th, and Mercury at the back of the grid at the moment in the Mercedes. Sully waits in the pits, but Don't Need Time. His gap is 2 seconds now from S. Berman, and I think starting to be reeled in potentially. We will keep an eye on that gap, but S. Berman, as they go down into the all-important hairpin that sets you up for the final sector of the racetrack. Oh, big slide from S. Berman, but nicely held. Glovas staying with him. We have essentially Sony Interactive versus Team Builder versus 404 Motorsport at the top of our standings, and Don't Need Time seemingly getting this agile little Peugeot RCZ very nicely, although we did just tag the barrier. We'll wait to see if anybody picks up front wing damage or suspension damage as a result of coming through and hitting these, but not even barriers, it's the curbstones that affect everybody. Komakopa in 4th is just allowing that gap to open out to 2 seconds now as well. Then we go back to Preston, who is only just holding off, I think. Junkai at this stage. Let's ride on board with Chaotica as he watches the battle and hopes for an issue between the drivers in front of him. Looks like a cleaner run for him, but he's also got to be mindful of the Predator directly behind him with the gaping maw and the jaws of the shark. Chaotica in P7 with a great run here, looking for the braking manoeuvre down into the Docklands. Can't quite get it done, and he might pick up a penalty going that far over the apex, but it looks like he's okay. Well, wait, no, there it is. So he does get it just as I'd given up hope. So Peugeot P1 and P7 at the moment, but that's going to hurt. That's going to hurt Chaotica at this stage of proceedings. Let's go see how S. Berman is doing. He is caught by a second and a half. And here is the battle for the lead of the race. Remember though, S. Berman on the medium tyres. Most everybody else is on hard tyres. And we're waiting for that all-important lap number 19. S. Berman looked like he was going towards the pit lane, but he was just going for a really, really late apex. Hooked that one up beautifully, and he's closing in now on Don't Need Time. S. Berman, this is S. Berman on board with him as we keep an eye on our mirrors as well. But getting that slipstream off the Peugeot in front, this Lamborghini, certainly equal to the Peugeot in manoeuvrability. And it's all important through here. Little crunch onto the curbstone and ruining those bright shiny rims there. Yeah, so good to have everybody joining us. Hi Gus. He says it's anyone's race. That's a nice way to put it, Gus. So hi to Gus. And yeah, I'm sure we'll keep a close eye on Larry as well. And we're looking to see if there is an opportunity now to pass Don't Need Time. Down, will it be into the docks here on the right into turn 2, or will we wait for the long run all the way to turn 12? We're going to look in the mirrors, try and get Don't Need Time to miss his braking zone. No look on that process. As we look back in the mirrors, there is nobody around. 2.9 seconds on the exit. Now we need to nail that throttle. We need to absolutely maximise turn 6, the right-hander coming up, and then that slipstream should pay absolute dividends as we run through. Little hesitation on the throttle, as you can understand. We're expecting to get dirty air on the back of the Peugeot through the fast corners, but now we have the longest run at full throttle, and that the extra speed should really be helping. 160 miles an hour. It is Don't Need Time still has a mile an hour in hand here against S. Berman. Now there's a difference, but it's coming too little too late. I think S. Berman's going to have to dive bomb Don't Need Time into this hairpin, but S. Berman is not like that really. He tends to sit and wait for his opportunity and pile on the pressure. Glovas in P3, and that's working very well. But here is S. Berman then out of the hairpin, but unfortunately looks like the next turn is just coming too quickly for him, as he needs to try and capitalise here. A nice racing car there from Gus as well. Great to see. Of course, they're cheering on S. Berman because he's a teammate of Larry in the team builder Lamborghini here. So Don't Need Time now just under 1/10 of a second. Now S. Berman has the inside line on the approach into turn 1. Those mediums. Oh, I thought he was going to go for it, but no, he waits again. So perhaps this time they'll be looking for a bump draft even at this stage. Here we are on board the hood of the Lamborghini as we wait then for the braking zone there up ahead. 200, 150, 100. We're braking very, very late. We're down the inside of Don't Need Time. Looks like we've got the advantage, and through we go. So finally, it took a whole load of patience, a whole load of waiting, but we got there in the end. And this is how it got done from the chase cam as we head down in towards the apex, and we've just got this hooked up absolutely on the limit there from S. Berman, but perfectly timed breakaway into the lead of the race. And let's see if he can gap Don't Need Time now with the medium tyres and make use of those mediums as much as possible. Of course, he's going to be using the fuel. I think though that these two would actually do well from hanging on to the slipstream of each other, because they need to save fuel if they can. There is not much in the way of an incentive to go off into a huge lead when we've got the safety car coming in 13 laps time. Let's go down to the midfield battle then. Comacopa in fourth. We've got Glovehouse completely on his own in third place. And then we've got absolutely action-packed here. This is the Nismo with the Adidas livery of Arcane, who's managed to sign one of the biggest sports manufacturers there. Baby on board, it says on the car, in honour of Nismo and in his new delivery. So that's fantastic. As Arcane through the S's, the car's looking absolutely brilliant, but Arcane hits the wall, and that's damage. That's heavy damage for Arcane, unfortunately, and that is front and front left damage for Arcane as he runs through the into the wall. That was significant. You can have minor impact with the barrier, but that was anything but minor. That was pretty heavy nudge into the wall, and I don't think anybody forced him into that situation. So he's now going to be suffering, especially turning to the right, I think, will be problematic for him. Lots of crossover on this circuit as well, which means that normally the tyres will get worn on one side of the car. But when you go to somewhere like Suzuka, and here in a crossover track like this, you do have a more equal number of corners turning to the left and the right, and that tends to balance out the car a little bit for their tyre wear. So hard tyres on board just about everybody. But with the late safety car call into the 19th lap, I think that is going to mean that most people will try and one-stop this race, or at least be able to use a new set of mediums at the end of the race. So Zen is in 10th place, Kamzina in 11th, Mercury in 12th place, but they are all close together here. There is the Shark for the Predator livery. I'm sure that Gus is going to be enjoying that one, and there's also having a door repair done at the moment in the Ferrari. Clearly been bashed, battered and bruised. As S. Berman has opened his gap at the front of the race then to 1 second clear. That is probably just about clear enough. You're not giving up much of a speed advantage to the following car. What will S. Berman do later though? Because he's going to be forced onto the hard tyres, especially after the restart. That is going to be a tricky place to be. We're going to do well to actually view everybody's liveries well today, I think, as it's getting darker and darker out there. We're going to have to do it all in the tunnels, I think. Comacopa in 4th position. We've got Preston in 5th place. And Chaotica with the yellow headlights on the Peugeot. Very French, going for yellow headlights. Arcane not hampered particularly here in the Nismo with that damage on board. He's happily tucked up in the train here, running very well indeed. Let's join Larry, shall we, and see how Larry's doing. His headlights are lighting up that camo livery on the back of the Adidas sponsored Nismo. And look at the great slipstream we've got, leaving it very late to pull out. The number 77 just needs to hold this inside line, and he should hang on. Careful over that apex, Larry. We've seen a driver pick up a half-second penalty for that apex transgression. Chaotica is absolutely chaos coming out of the corner. Big snap oversteer there. Big problem for Chaotica. Lost a couple of positions. He'll try and tuck back into the slipstream. I think he was trying a maneuver, and he comes out absolutely behind the NSX. Almost tags the temporary concrete barrier there, but he just about rescued it. So congrats to him. Very, very clear and well done save, but unfortunately it's lost him several positions here. That is Zen and Junkai battling hard once again. You can just about see Junkai there. There he is. Zen's a second behind here as Larry and Arcane go side by side. Larry has just got ahead into P6. Much to his household's enjoyment, I'm sure. So Larry moving forward and then going for P5 as well, Larry. The camera angles really do make it difficult to see everything that's happening, but Larry's gone from 7th and now he's challenging for 5th position. Here he is, rocket ship. And we've got the icon there, fantastic. And Larry hoping to get ahead of this group but he's on the medium tyres, just like S. Berman. Looks like the team builder Lamborghini team have gone for that. They're going to be giving up the chance to use the faster tyre at the end of the race, I think. And they will have to, oh no, because of course they'll two-stop this one, I think. Wear out the mediums now, use the hards for a very short stint, and then get back to the tail of the grid, back onto the mediums. But he would love to just get some clear air on that front wing. There is Komakopa going across in the all-pink Kung Fu Panda style Predator livery. I did joke with him about the fact that the Panda isn't really a Predator, but he said it's a bamboo Predator, so we'll let that one slide. As they navigate that Docklands Square, really tricky section, very, very low grip. There is Larry in P6. He's lost track slightly of Preston. This great looking Tokyo Expressway street circuit. It's more like a highway circuit, really. Larry would be hoping for a little bump draft off Arcane, and it wouldn't surprise me if they do that. Here is a three-way battle. Zen leading them at the moment. 4 P8, Zen, Junkai and Chaotica. Tremendous battles so far in this race. We are we've got 42 minutes to go. And if the next 42 are anything like the first 18, this is going to be breathless. And they're going to wear out my voice before I can commentate even on the second race today, rather than the third that is coming as well. So here is Larry now, hot on the heels of Preston. Let's perhaps join Preston, shall we? As we feel chased here, being chased down by an absolute pack of cars. See Larry moving around. If he does that too much, he's going to lose his slipstream. Looks like he's going to be able to tuck back in and get it a bit more now. Here goes Larry. You can see the extra speed. Little bump on the way in towards turn 1. I think the drivers allow each other to do that, but you don't do it into corners, of course. Here we go then. Larry should be able to use that slipstream now. Peels to one side, goes to peel to one side, but Preston is just drifting along ever so slightly. Wait for the stop here. Will Preston pull off to our left here to block the entry into the corner? He does exactly that. Larry going for the outside to inside maneuver now. Right, and then a left-hand corner. And then we go left again. Larry is absolutely pinned here to the back. Oh, the KFC will be getting hungrier and hungrier and watching this. Larry has pulled along to one side. They are side by side, and Larry goes through into 5th position. Does he? Has he left it? Has he made that move slightly early here? He's going to go off in pursuit of Komakopa's 4th position. You can just see the bright pink livery in front of him. Dayglow pink that he's got there. Oh, huge contact further back. Let's just try and track that once again. How did that one come down? Well, it was Chaotica here in the Sony RCZ alongside Zen. Touch, and then we're going to do it again. We are. Oh, dear me. All the time you have to leave the space, but Camzilla laughing as he goes through that particular battle. So huge contact then. Let's see. Zen has damage front and rear. Mercury has got a clean car at the moment. Zen's damage has repaired itself very quickly indeed. Preston in 6th, Larry in 5th now, 1.1 seconds, and he's finally able to use those medium tyres properly. Back to the front of the grid, the gap is 3.3 seconds. We haven't missed any overtaking. S. Berman leads at the moment. We have 8 laps to go before the safety car period. Here is Glovas in the Sears Mercedes today for Team 404 Motorsport. Of course, their team is all about companies and entities and bands that are no longer with us. Here's Komakopa in 4th place on those hard tyres. Usually the Ferrari, very good race car in all conditions, especially when you're grid starting. And then look at this, we've got a, I think, 6-way battle currently for P6 starting to develop. Preston leading this group but he is holding other drivers up, even those that had damage for a moment. Arcane pulls out to one side. This is exactly where Larry got Preston on the previous lap, so clearly the bucket of KFC that's on board Preston's car weighing him down on the way out of turn 6. Definitely a bit of a weak spot there. Camzilla munching, crunching his way through, makes his way through as well, follows Arcane here. Zen gets the position as well, so Preston down into the 9th place now as they go 3 wide in towards the right-hand hairpin here. Need to leave the space for each other. Preston saving his own slide there on the side of Chaotica. So this is then Mercury gets a bit of a chance. John Kai is dropped off quite a bit here. John Kai, I thought he'd gone into the pits, but no, he is still there with us. The pit driver is, of course, Sully, our safety car driver. Oh, that's very wide from Mercury, but he's through past Preston. It's almost like Preston has got a problem on the car because he's lost so many places in the last few minutes. Let's try and get a good view of what's going on ahead here. But as the slipstream takes effect, or doesn't for our drivers, it is a huge difference. Camzilla losing out momentum there. May have just tagged the barrier, and when you do that, you lose forward momentum. Here's John Kai closing in on the Polioloco NSX. As we go back to this two-way battle now, Chaotica v Mercury. Down towards the docks and the triple right. Mercury ahead of Camzilla. Camzilla outside to inside manoeuvre. I think that's a penalty coming. Above the Shark livery. Let's wait for it. It's not arrived yet, but he managed to do that while while off throttle, it seems. But got away with one there, Camzilla. So S. Berman leads, don't need time, and M. Glovers then for the top 3 in the standings. So far, we've had 23.5 minutes racing. Chaotica in 8th, Zen chasing Arcane still. And you can hear the sound of the car's engine and exhaust notes echoing off these great buildings here in Tokyo. Looks like we've got Godzilla for Zen, just celebrating all that is Japanese. I think for the team Wunderpferd Audis. I think it's a little bit harken back to our previous season with the Warner Brothers Studios. Pretty sure Godzilla was a Warner Brothers film. I remember off the top of my head. Larry in 5th place on his own now, but quite a distance. I would say quite a distance from Komakopa, but he's not actually. There he is. 0.3 of a second. Larry v Komakopa. Larry just hitting the wall. Did he escape damage? He did, just about. And he's also running a bit low on fuel at the moment, Larry. He's timed this for the tyres, of course, but he will end up pitting and going back in the grid order, probably with S. Berman as well. Don't think the field is sufficiently spread that he won't go all the way to the back before the safety car period. He'll get that pit stop done. I think he'll try and pit again then, unless he feels he can use a set of hards for probably just over half the race distance, including the safety car cooldown period. There's Komakopa and Larry. P4 and P5 will get a really good close look at these liveries, of course, as usual, during the safety car period, which is on its way in 6 laps time. So I hope that Gus can stick around long enough for that one. Arcane with the Adidas livery. I should probably say Adidas, shouldn't I, for an American audience. S. Berman has pitted though with 6 litres of fuel on the car. Let's see what he decides to do. Is it going to be a short fuel medium stop, or is he going to put the hard tyres on and brim the tank? Well, neither. He's done half a tank of fuel and put the hard tyres on as S. Berman, and Larry pits as well with 7 litres of fuel remaining, and down the order go our pitted drivers. Here is S. Berman, managed to pit and come out in P3, but challenging Komakopa now for that P3. So he's gone onto the hard tyres for the shortest time possible, I imagine. don't think he's fueled to the finish of the race, so he's just gone to run light, run on those hard tyres, and try and regain that track position. But Commentator promoted to 3rd place after S. Berman giving up his lead for the strategic option here of using the hards for just a handful of laps. Arcane P5 with Chaotica now in 6th place. And then, of course, this consistent slipstreaming battle. Zen 7th, Mercury 8th, Camzilla 9th, Junkai just at the back of that group in 10th place. Preston really struggling, may have had to turn the engine down looking at his drop in pace here. And then there is Larry, having pitted from the battle for 4th place. 4th and 5th place he was trying to challenge right to the very back of the grid. And we wait for Sully and his starring turn in the race car there for our safety car period. Don't need time leads us from Globas by 6.6 seconds. Looks like the pit stop didn't take very long for Larry and Berman. They didn't put a lot of fuel on, and don't need time pits now off his hard tyres. He has run out of fuel. Looks like the drivers are going to end up two-stopping this thanks to the fuel usage. So I don't think they can do the whole, or half the race distance on a full tank of fuel. This is kind of a very interesting one. Globas now in the lead of the race. Homakopa now in 2nd place. And I think enjoying some better fuel economy out of the Ferrari here. I think there's a chance he'll get through to, say, lap 18 prior to the safety car to refuel. As long as he's got halfway, of course, he can then refuel to the 100-litre point and safely get home. No running out of fuel required or tolerated for Commentator this season, I'm sure. The train's just operating as if there isn't a fantastic race happening to the side of the train track there as we go through this Tokyo Expressway. S. Berman, P3, after the pit stop, on his hard tyres now. Heels across to the inside as they head into the docks. Triple right coming up. He's got the right-hand side of the track, and S. Berman very smoothly through. Commentator over the white line on the apex. Looks like he's got away with it. Both drivers trying to extend the width of the track on the exit of those Docklands area, but it's going to be unsuccessful because they're concrete curbs they're running into. There you can see how uneven this racetrack is, this, well, temporary racetrack is. Red saying Commentator in a Ferrari. That is true red indeed, and in a bright pink Panda Predator livery today. Here he is, Commentator in the Ferrari. So he's got a good racing car to race in this in this racing league anyway. Certainly it's not enjoying life in the Supra. Over at SVR, into the pit lane we come. Temporary pit lane, of course, for Commentator, and the bright lights as well. That would be a big shock when you go in. S. Berman then into the lead of the race once again. We've got Globas, Arcane all into the pits. Junkai has gone through, so Junkai's held on to a bit more fuel, as has teammate Preston. So they're going a little bit longer. They are going into the second half of the race here on their starting tank of fuel as long as they can possibly go. I was speculating earlier that perhaps Preston had turned the engine down, and as Red said, at least it's this better version of Tokyo. It does seem like this is an awful lot of fun, this particular version. Yes, not the central clockwise that we all did a few weeks ago. Preston in P3, don't need time in P4. And I think Commentator is going to be pleased enough that it's not raining as well this weekend for his races. Don't need time in 4th place. And he's pitted. He was the leader. He's back out again. He's in P4. The drivers in front of him, with the exception of Berman, have not yet pitted. Out of the pits, you've got Globas in the Mercedes. Commentator then in that 6th place with Larry. currently in 7th, but expecting to gain positions, these drivers, as the ones in front choose to pit. I wonder if someone just had a problem going through the docks there, or it's just the way the track map indicators featured. I think it's probably more likely to be that. So there is our safety car driver waiting. It's lap 16. He'll be coming out at the start of lap 19. The pit lane will close on lap 18, I believe. So the drivers will have to make their pit stop prior to our safety car coming out. S. Berman then leads the field by 14.8 seconds. His strategy has worked out very well indeed, but he will be pitting, I think, with the majority of the rest of the field. Here, Junkai and Preston in the NSX come into the pits now as one, and that means that Don't Need Time goes back into the lead, back into second position, I should say, in the God of War Sony Interactive livery today, asymmetrical red stripe. 27.5 minutes to go then, but just a couple of laps before we get to our safety car period. Globas in 3rd place, he has pitted, so has Kopa. These drivers on the mediums will be very, very glad that the safety car period will allow those tyres to cool off, extend the life somewhat, but they are all going to struggle, I think, to get a set of tyres, a set of medium tyres, more than 30 minutes of running. It's definitely going to be an interesting situation. Zen in 5th, being chased by Larry now in 6th place. Then we've got Arcane in 7th and Chaotica in 8th. Personal best lap time from Zen. One of those strange racetracks here where the pit lane is nowhere near the start-finish line. So it's a lot to think about for everybody when it comes to where the pit lane features in terms of the lap count. Getting down into that square triple right under the shadow of all the containers being taken off and put on to those cargo ships in Tokyo. Some people watching the race there in the Docklands in a very precarious position. Zen in 5th place then. We've got Larry racing in 6th with Arcane catching him, Chaotica following him very closely. S. Berman has now pitted, so I'm kind of expecting Larry to do something similar here at the end of lap 17. Larry needs to put his blinkers on here and indicate to Arcane that he's headed into the pit lane if that's indeed what he is doing. Arcane is just bump drafting him, pushing Larry down the straightaway. What will Larry do here? Yeah, goes off to the pit lane. Larry temporarily there in 7th, but will then drop back. He actually had quite a lot of fuel on board, but as long as they've done their refueling before the safety car, I think everything will equal itself out momentarily. Let's go and check out our safety car driver, Sully. Tyres are not on yet, so he's obviously not expecting to come out just yet, but he will need to come out in a moment, as Don't Need Time leads the race by 12.1 seconds now from S. Berman. How those two have reversed each other, as then Kopa and Globas go side by side through the difficult turn 1. Globas just closing the door and saying to Kopa, make your own arrangements because this corner's mine. Mad Panda, it says on the back of Kopa's Ferrari. Zen now hot on the heels of this potential podium positions, but the safety car is going to reset our race significantly. Let's have a look. Still hasn't put the tyres on as Sully, so obviously waiting around. It's Globas and Kopa following. Less than a second separating each of the drivers, 3rd to 4th, 4th to 5th. Zen getting a great slipstream here. The Audi, the rowdy Audi it says on the nose, and ahead, nicely, using the draft. No gimmicks, no push to pass, no DRS in operation. That's pure timing, momentum and slipstream, and a little bit of setup tweakery, I think. Then just finding life slightly more difficult than he imagined it would be, running through the hairpin. It's lap 18. So the next lap is our safety car lap. I think the pit lane should now be closed to new visitors. So we should see around 3/4 of a tank of fuel on board the cars now, with 23 minutes to go. As soon as the safety car comes out, the whole of the field will slow down. This is about to turn over into lap 19. There it is. And the drivers, I think, will start slowing. Maybe not. Let's just check out where our safety car driver is. He still hasn't come out, but he's halfway around the lap, of course. 2/3 of the way around the lap before he exits the pit lane. So these drivers are all down to the required 60 to 70 mile an hour speed limit. And we'll have a good look at these new liveries the drivers have spent their time doing. This is the God of War Sony Interactive game. I'm afraid in the tunnel you don't get a very good view of it, but I'll give you the best view I possibly can. You can see that asymmetrical Kratos stripe down the white RCZ. And thank you for the Webbo stickers on the car there, of course. S. Berman, no change for the team builder team. S. Berman with the more orange and red fade colour scheme, but a nice metallic paint here in the Tokyo floodlights. Here is the Sears livery, and there's that back window decoration from Glovas. Says if it's not fun, why do it? The PSVR2 indicator on there for Glovas as well. But I have to say, I am a little bit uninitiated when it comes to the importance of Sears to the US public. Not a brand that we ever received here in the UK, of course. This is the Godzilla livery for the team Vanderfert. Not much in the way of their German flag colour scheme as we're used to seeing. Zen 3000 it says on the hood there, and the Rowdy Audi symbol. Nice cracking details on board the Godzilla 83. Now, I'm sure this is going to be a bit of a favourite among some of our audience. Give it an upvote if you want to. This is Komakopa's Mad Panda Predator livery. The most dangerous animal when it comes to the consumption of bamboo. Anyway, 72 in the Mad Panda livery here. There are pandas everywhere in celebration of Tokyo. There's a Tokyo skyscape on the bottom edge of the car as well. This one is specifically for teammate Nismo, celebrating the birth of new baby in car, baby on board, and I think Red will recognise that sticker on the back window there as well. So clearly they've found that one from the same box that some of our other drivers have found in SVR. This then is the Automata livery car from Square Enix for Sony Interactive. A little bit hard to see a giant sticker like that on the back of the Peugeot, but it is there. So obviously a game favourite of Chaotica's, not one I've played myself. Then the Predator Racing Shark livery, which does look very, very good indeed here in the low light. But he's also got a bandage over the side door, so problems there for the team. They obviously haven't quite finished repairing that door, so they're trying to get that addressed. It's even affected the racing sticker as well. Look, crazy for Camzilla. Mercury in the Sears AMG. A very nice looking approach there to the livery. Do enjoy that one. John Kai, no change in the Pollo Loco team. This is the Chick-fil-A, and then of course we've got the KFC version as well. Crazy Chicken, the Pollo Loco. Or Preston in the NSX, and then we go back to Larry. He's in the sort of green-purple fade background paint colour scheme. Sorry about these camera angles. It is really difficult with the walls so close. The game sort of jumps the camera forward and makes life quite difficult to do. And then you've got our Toyota safety car here, and it is a very safe safety car, isn't it? So we've got a bit of a run to go yet. Don't need time. Leeds S. Berman. These guys have been very quick for the race to this point. Looks like the safety car is a little bit bashed up there on the rear quarter. I think he may have hit the barrier or been hit by somebody. Let's just confirm that. Just have a look at that. Scratched up side of the car. So we haven't been very careful with our nice shiny safety car, unfortunately. So don't need time. I think everyone is going to try and do this stint on a set of medium tyres, but don't need time. His tyres are quite heavily worn at this point. So the fuel should be good to the end of the race. Some drivers are going to have a lot less fuel than others. S. Berman also on the medium tyres. This is going to be really interesting then to see these two go at it. Let me have your predictions here. Alexandra saying the panda is the most dangerous animal to distract you from work with zoo videos. This is true. Panda sneezing. Yes, absolutely. Glovas in third place then, as we just check in on everybody's tyres. Everyone on medium tyres, as I say, some older than others. Looks like Kayotica's lower on fuel than most everybody else as well. Love the Panda Express car, says Kuros Kai. Yeah, everybody on the medium tyres. You can see Preston has got an almost full tank of fuel. Even though the NSX went further into race than anybody else managed at the start, he still feels like he needs to overfill that fuel tank. The safety car's back in. The drivers will have to go through the third sector before they are allowed to restart this race. The green flag won't be waved until the start-finish line, and we will have just over 1/4 of our race left to go. Who's your money on then? Everybody watching live. Don't need time. S. Berman. A wild card from further back to take the win if these two come together. It does look like Don't Need Time and S. Berman have had a gap here in terms of race pace over everybody else, but Zen has the fastest lap. He's in P4 now. Zen at 1:58.7. Here's the grid hash markings on the road. That means we're approaching the start-finish line. And it's a green flag then for the final portion of the race as the drivers start to overlap one another. Looks like S. Berman had a very slow getaway there and was caught slightly unawares of exactly where the line was. So he's now defending fourth place. He's lost fourth place to Komakopa, down from second position. That means it's probably unlocked Zen significantly here. And Zen and Don't Need Time will go side by side on the long run towards that triple right at the Docklands area of the Tokyo Expressway. Down heavy on the brakes we go. Zen trying to get that inside line. He's got the inside line on the Peugeot RCZ with the God of War livery. And Don't Need Time trying to defend, but Zen through and into the lead of the race. M. Glovas isn't hanging around either for a chance to feature on the top step of this podium. Top three. Gapping Arcane, and then you've got S. Berman, who's picked up a half-second penalty, desperately trying to hang on here to his positions, bring his tyres into range. He's got a lot of fuel on board as Berman. And now he's got a half-second penalty, which, while the field is so tightly packed, will presumably drop him down many places. That is a nightmare of a restart then for S. Berman. Komakopa goes to the inside, down into the hairpin. He's not close enough. Someone was trying on a move as well. It's Kayotica versus Junkai. Junkai with a big snap. Preston splitting between Larry and Mercury on the way through. Larry down to the back of the grid at the moment anyway, but he's desperately fighting with Mercury here. Haven't had any excuses from Larry. for his performance today, Alexandra. So you have to let me know if he's fully recovered from his brush with his near-death brush with the flu and accidents as a resulting thereof. Glovas in third place, draws alongside Zen. He's been very modest in another server I've been part of in the previous few days about how he doesn't wish to talk about wins anywhere elsewhere. Kiros Kai saying Larry says the car feels underpowered for some reason. No power, no power. GP2 engine for Larry. Well, I think maybe the mechanics have been focusing their efforts on S. Berman's car today, because that is not lacking in horsepower. Zen it through, and just hanging on then to second place ahead of Glovas. This starting to allow Don't Need Time the chance to build a gap here. Komakopa in fifth place. S. Berman with that extra fuel on board. Looks like the Lamborghini is a thirsty beast for the drivers. No success ballast, I think, on board the Lamborghinis, but they did have a little bit of BOP nerf from the previous season. And they were all conquering. S. Berman nibbling away at the rear quarter of Komakopa's car. You'll have to be careful. It's very easy to do that. That's almost a blind spot. It's a definite blind spot when it comes to a VR driver. You've got to be extra careful. John Kai versus Mercury into the hairpin. Mercury's going to be washing out to the outside there. Going to give up at least one position, maybe even a position to Larry. Back of the grid, Preston's gone down to 12th place. Presume he had a penalty to pay there as the drivers race through and past our camera position through the S's then to finish out the lap. It's a great way to start the lap in the clockwise direction, but we're running counterclockwise today. And Larry. We've got Sully back into the pits. He hasn't quit out on us, which often the safety car driver does. Don't Need Time leads ahead of Zen, who I thought would be closer to Don't Need Time, but maybe just holding onto the tyres, running over our camera. Zen leaving it slightly askew there. And Arcane in that fourth place, chasing down Glovas as well. Let's follow with Arcane here. It looks like we're going to get an opportunity. There is the slipstream. We're braking directly in a line behind Glovas. You've got to be so careful when you do that. Usually drivers will just offset their braking zone slightly in that situation. Looks like Glovas getting the better of the Docklands area. Just shave on the brake pedal, holding it in fourth, and then should pick up a triple toe here, Arcane. But then Glovas is getting a double toe from the cars in front of him. So it looks like he's not going to quite be in range. Komakopa has always been in the top half of the draw today, but now he's got to really worry about S. Berman, who's finally picked up his speed after the restart. It was big trouble for Berman. Komakopa moves left, moves right, heads into the braking zone then for the hairpin in a compromised angle. That was Berman's intention, of course. You can see just how short that pit lane is. It's just it's a few hundred yards, maybe 300 yards maximum there for pit lane. That's why the drivers lose so little time in the pits. There's Berman ruining that restart. He was unstoppable earlier on. Now he's boxed in. He's held up by drivers and possibly the extra weight of fuel on board. Behind him, you've got a train of cars, Camzilla and Chaotica, following this group. Komakopa now catching Arcane. He Don't Need Time leads Zen and Glovas ahead of this group, but obviously will stay focused wherever there looks to be action brewing. That's Berman in the team builder Lamborghini. It's Komakopa taking a wider line into the hairpin, sorry, into the docks here. Very similar on approach to the two sections of the racetrack. Whoa, big slide from Berman, I think that was. Coming through, and there you can see he's lost a little bit of time as a result. Behind this group, Camzilla, Chaotica, Junkai, Larry, Mercury, and then a little bit further back, Preston. There he is, screaming forward in the NSX. Don't need time leads at the moment by 1.1 seconds from Zen and Glovas, paying a close watching brief here in third position. And you've got this great battle, Arcane and Komakopa. Komakopa down to the inside line here. Arcane trying to hang on. You see a really wide line being used by Berman. Side to side they go through the corner. A little touch there between friends, but I think Robbins Racing, I don't think the stewards will mind that at all. Let's try and see that again from on board. We do leave the apex open. Komakopa walks into it. Arcane tries to stop, but it's kind of like bolting the stable door after the horse has gone. So Komakopa in fourth. Arcane from Berman, who's having slightly easier time here in the Lamborghini versus the GTR Nismo than he was against the Ferrari. And clearing Arcane very quickly. He will now go back in pursuit of the Scuderia Ferrari car of Komakopa for the Predator team. Some close racing happening back here as well. Look, we've got this is Larry being crowded out by Chaotica and Junkai. Junkai picking up the toe on the back of Junkai picking up the toe at the back of Chaotica. Larry's very, very late on the brakes. That almost qualifies for a dive bomb in my book, but he got it done, got it stopped. Sears Mercedes of Mercury, as Larry's compromise line finally held him up on the way through. Larry running in P9 with basically half an engine at this point, I'm hearing, in the number 77. Junkai slingshotting out of turn 6. Fantastic run here. Anticipating the dirty air almost enough. But just moving around, keeping Larry checking each mirror, one after the other, because the dive bomb might be coming. Larry shapes to the inside, tries to protect the inside line. Here comes Junkai. Larry peels across very late. Surely he's going to struggle to get the car turned at the apex as efficiently as Junkai can. Just holds on, just holds it at the apex by enough before they head towards the final point of the racetrack. How Larry is hanging on to this, I'm not quite sure, but it's happening at the moment. This is Zen and Glovas ahead of the field. Well, just behind, don't need time anyway, as Komakopa's in fourth, and S. Berman has caught Komakopa again, but Komakopa not succumbing to the pressure, although that almost went very wrong indeed between the two. Berman to the inside. Looks like he's got the run. He has got the run. That was nicely done by Berman. Up into fourth place now. Will we have a run to the end of the race in the final 5 minutes? There's a lot to do for Berman. Glovas and Zen are fighting over second instead of going off in pursuit of Don't Need Time's lead, which is 3 seconds almost now at this point. The best lap so far belongs to Zen of 1:58.584. The fuel is burning off these cars. Some have probably, I think a lot of drivers have got too much fuel on for just 5 minutes of racing, but of course they will continue to finish the lap after the checkered flag has fallen until they reach the checkered flag themselves. So it's P2 and P3. Where are we going to find ourselves? I think we're going to have 2.5 more laps to go, so maybe the fuel will burn away. Here is Glovas. Kind of follow him on a drone here down in towards the hairpin. Yeah, looks like it is going to be 2 more laps. We will go through to lap 28 to complete this race. We're about to come on to the 56th minute then here for Don't Need Time. It's marginal. But yeah, that looks to be the situation. Don't need time then in P1. Coming through the final corner, that's turn 16. And God of War bringing Don't Need Time a fair amount of luck here as he crosses the line with yes, I think that will comfortably be 2 further laps. Second and third is definitely in doubt at this stage. Glovas looking for an opportunity into turn 1. The 90-degree right-hander, slightly more open than a normal street circuit 90-degree corner that are coming up here on to the right. But Berman in 4th, Copa in 5th. Will this be your podium, and in what order? Don't Need Time Zen and M. Glovas on their penultimate laps now. Berman 4th, Copa in 5th, Arcane versus Camzilla for 6th position. Camzilla bringing up that Ferrari in the Shark livery very nicely indeed. Chaotica a little bit on his own here in 8th, and then Larry and Junkai almost clatters into the curbstone on the outside exit in the Chick-fil-A livery. Got an overtake coming here. This is Camzilla side by side with Arcane, getting ahead before they even enter turn 7 and 8. All about the lack of pace I think that the Nismo has going through turn 6. That right-hander coming onto this straightaway as Arcane tucking in. He's managed to regain quite a significant amount of slipstream power on the way through to almost be challenging. He couldn't get the inside line. Chaotica will take that invitation now to try and get himself inside the top 6. Chaotica running in 8th, going faster than he's gone before. A 1:59.5 was his most recent lap here. As the fuel starts to burn off, Larry's in 10th, Junkai's in 9th, Preston 11th, and Mercury in 12th position. Ahead of the field though is Don't Need Time. He has started his final lap. Everybody will complete, I believe, the 29 laps here. Zen runs through. So this is it. This is when it matters most for our drivers. Zen in 2nd has a gap of half a second from Glovas. That is not safe by anyone's judgment. Waiting for the braking zone into the Docklands section on the southeast of the circuit. We go right, and then left through here. It's all about picking the ideal line. Set yourself up to get the power down. Head in towards this turn 6 left-hander. Just a tiny touch on the brakes into there. Just get the front axle to point where you need it to go, and then slam your foot straight back down against the bulkhead before the longest straightaway and the danger zone really for the Nismo. The GTR Nismo, our driver called Nismo, is not here with us today. There he is, Arcane, Nismo's teammate. As Junkai follows, waiting for a big move coming, I think, in towards the hairpin. Who's going to go for it? Who's brave? Who's got brakes left and tyres left to make the move? Zen defends heavily down into that hairpin corner. Glovas tries the outside-inside move. I think he's left the door open. I think Berman is going to get him here. They've got a short run towards the S's. It's side by side between Berman and Glovas. Berman's trying to close the door. Sorry, Glovas is trying to close the door, and I think has done so successfully. I think he just about has. No, there's a tiny touch there between Berman and Glovas towards the finish. Here comes, coming out of the final corner, it is Don't Need Time in the Peugeot RCZ for Team Sony Interactive with the God of War livery on today, who is going to take home the win in Tokyo. Tremendous battle there. Zen is going to bring home 2nd place. Berman's run out of fuel again. I want to say, has he? No, he gave up the position. He gave up the position at the end. So Glovas is in 3rd. Berman coming through in 4th place. Copa in 5th. Camzilla in 6th. Some drivers being deposed down the order as we filter through with penalties. But Chaotica in 7th. Junkai in 8th. Larry, Arcane, Preston, and Mercury. Your 12 finishers. Thanks to Sully for the safety car run. But Don't Need Time got there in the end. Berman, it seems, probably on his own volition, gave up the position at the end of the race. He got the position on the road ahead of Glovas, but then handed it back on the way out. He didn't feel, I think, that it was fair, the way he won the race. So props to him for sportsmanship. I thought he ran out of fuel, but it looks like all is well in that regard. There then is your winner. Don't need time for Team Sony Interactive. I'm trying to read what it says there. Fierce Warrior something on the back wing. A man made a god, and well, Don't Need Time has got to be feeling godlike today after a highly dominant victory there. I think he won't want to take this livery off after that one. Well, thanks everybody so much for staying with us. Don't forget to like the video today, and make sure that you tune in for the GTD series if you're not racing in that series. And of course there are ways to support the channel, such as the super chat, thanks button, and of course, but most importantly, a subscription and a like. You could always leave a playlist of mine running overnight if you want to help me with my watch time as well. But there is your winner. Don't Need Time ahead of Zen and Glovas, and we will give you those provisional results momentarily, as soon as we have them available to us, before transferring the stream over to the GTD. So make sure you hit refresh as soon as possible. We don't want to miss a minute of the GTD drivers. So Don't Need Time from Zen, from Glovas, as the drivers all circulate through and head towards the pit lane to cool down and grab hold of the champagne, at least for the top three anyway. Berman down in 4th place. He's finishing the race. He's finishing the victory lap ahead of everybody. It's a little bit on the cheeky side. But yeah, that was your GTD Pro race. We will be here for the GTDs any moment. A reminder of our race calendar then, as we wait for the results screen to come up. June 29th, we will see you again here on the channel for Trial Mountain Reverse for the GTD Pros. Same time, of course, same place. But that is your victory with the Oreo and Ritz Cracker helmet. Everything went the way of Don't Need Time today, and he takes home in the Peugeot RCZ the plaudits. He doesn't quite get the fastest lap in the end. Lloydie says, cheers, hello and goodbye. Well, stay a bit longer if you want to. There's lots of racing on the channel today. Don't Need Time, Zen and Glovas, I've given them plenty of props already. Berman in 4th, congrats to him for that sporting finish. And then we've got Comacopa, Camzilla, Chaotica and Junkai, your top 8, followed by Larry, Arcane, Preston and Mercury, who have worked incredibly hard to bring home points for their teams today. Thanks to Sully, thanks for hosting. And from everyone here at Deviant, please tune in momentarily for the next race. But thanks for watching, everyone, and we will catch you on the next race day.